quick before this video starts, I just opened a second channel for reactions and extra content over there, so make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe, and let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Welcome back to yet a brand new video. I just want to make this little video discussing what has been going on with the ticket sales and concerts in hip-hop right now. We've seen people postpone and cancel their tours like Trippie and Carti. We've seen just low ticket sales across the board from big artists. It just seems to be a common theme going on over the summer, and I do think, festivals are fine, but I want to dive into a couple specific artists and what their problem is. And I usually don't really cover, touring and performing too much on the channel, so it should be fun to discuss. So let's go ahead and jump into it. As you might have seen already, this happened in the past week. Trippie was supposed to go on tour with Lucky opening, K-Suave, D Savage opening. Looked like it was going to be a dope tour. I was even going to buy tickets. And the problem for Trippie was he just got such bad reception and lost so many, casual fans and hip-hop fans in the last year or so, with Mansion Music and A Love Letter to 5 also flopping, that a lot of people they're just not going to be spending their money right now on Trippie Redd. They're probably just focusing on someone else and someone that's hotter, or someone they're more of a fan of right now. And Trippie Redd in 2023 is not a lot of people's go-to number one like he is for me right now. And there's a couple things as well that I could point out, like trying to sell out the Barclays Center in Brooklyn where the Nets play. You're just not going to sell out those arenas. I could tell you that right now. I thought that was an absolute stretch that was even scheduled. And for him, like the Trip at Night tour worked out so well because he was so hot from Miss the Rage and that album doing well, and so that ended up being a good tour for him, and his past tours always worked out. But I just think this one, just coming off of Love Letter to 5, it was bound to fail. A lot of people they're not copying tickets because Trippie's not their focus right now. You can look at Carti's tour, which is another one I wanted to discuss. This actually got postponed. They started canceling some dates. It was supposed to start early in this December. Obviously they decided to go ahead and postpone the entire thing. With that being said, they also added more shows over in Europe and across the world, which now starts in November. So it pretty much got a month and a half delay until this tour starts, and it's starting overseas, of course. But back in America, I think I have to wait till February now. Yeah, I'll be at the February 14th show in Kansas City, and I was hoping to make a vlog for that at the end of September, but obviously we have to wait till next year. And as you can see right here on the map, you can pretty much still buy tickets anywhere in any of these arenas. This is just the one that I'm going to. Again, the seats look pretty spotty. Not everyone wants to be, standing over here on the side or be seated for Carti on the side. Everyone wants to be in the mosh pit, which I fully understand. That's why those are the most expensive. But I think in Carti's case on why his tour, I know it hasn't started yet, so I don't want to hate on it too much because I'm literally going on this tour. I'm very excited, to see Ken Carson finally, see Destroy Lonely and Homicide Gang again, and see Carti for the first time do his whole set. But I think a lot of people just don't trust Carti right now to buy his tickets because he just hasn't dropped music. He's gained a lot of monthly listeners and a lot of fans and a lot of hype from a couple features this year, but if he really wants to sell his tickets, he's going to need to actually drop music, and we haven't even got a single. Now, if Carti actually had a project out right now or something, people instantly would buy those tickets because they have the music and they know what he's going to perform, and they're really hype and going to buy those tickets for him. And that was something that I just pulled up Travis Scott's tour right here. Travis Scott dropped the biggest rap album of the year with Utopia, and then went ahead and announced his tour right after, and this is flying off the shelves. You also know that Travis is going to give you an amazing performance because he's arguably the best performer alongside Carti, who's also one of the best performers in the game. I already know the show is going to be insane. It's going to be worth my money. But the thing for Carti is, if he dropped music, he would get people to go to his tour, and so I think him being mysterious so much is backfiring on him a little bit right here. I think a lot of fans as well might have already seen what he's done. They already saw him on the Whole Lotta Red King Vamp tour, and if everyone thinks he's going to be doing the same set, they might have already seen it and spent their money on it a couple years ago. And a lot of people aren't going to come back, just because it is expensive. Not everyone can afford these hundreds of dollars of concert tickets. So if Carti actually drops, it will help his tickets tour sales. And again, he added more dates. I mean, this tour is going to go insane. It's just the reason why it got postponed is because simply the music might even not just be ready, but he will sell better tickets in the future. And when Travis dropped his tickets, these things, like I said, they just flew off, and they're really expensive too. $300, $500, $1,000 for VIP. I mean, probably $100 if you want to go up in the rafters, up in the back. It's an expensive ticket, but it's a hot commodity. Travis is going to give a performance, and you can look at the stage. It kind of looks all crazy. I mean, who knows what Travis is planning? I think the Utopia tour could be another absolutely insane tour that's going to gross a lot of money. More people got to do it like Travis. I know not everyone can just drop the biggest rap album of the year and go on tour after, but what I'm saying is, if you put out the music, you generate this hype, you give these people an actual performance experience, stuff to actually enjoy content wise, like Travis has done his entire career, you are going to come out like this at the end of it. And this tour, like I said, is going to go absolutely absolutely insane for Travis. Sure, Travis is doing entirely all arenas, as he should, because he can pack those out. And at the end of this tour, he might even have to have the conversation, is he ready for stadiums, what The Weeknd, Taylor Swift, Bad Bunny, and these artists are doing? Because Travis, in my opinion, is like the biggest rapper right now alongside Drake. I also just want to say, like, I threw in Lil Baby as well, and this is an old screenshot. He is going on tour, he's still doing shows, and they're fine. I'm not trying to throw Lil Baby under the bus here, but his Only Us tour, which did have Leroy on it, Leroy actually dropped out because the ticket sales were low, and I do think a few places ended up getting canceled. And as you can see again, if you zoom in on the screenshot and for these ticket sales, it's a little spotty in the entire arena. And I think for Lil Baby, he's kind of in the same boat as Trippie Redd, where he's not really coming off his hottest album, or he's not the hottest, most talked about artist right now. And because of that reason, your average people aren't really buying tickets. They're not really focused on spending money on that artist. And I think that, maybe backstabbed Lil Baby a little bit as well. I'm speaking objectively here. Like, his last album really wasn't all that. Like, it only had a couple songs that did decent, and I think, quality wise, in my opinion, for Lil Baby, I just don't think it was a great album. It was pretty bad, actually. We've seen Lil Baby do his thing over the years, and like, if he dropped this tour in 2020, 2021, it would have been crazy. I would have even copped a ticket if he was in my city. And again, some of these prices, a lot of people have talked about these prices being hundreds of dollars to go see your favorite artist. I do prefer stuff like when I can go see artists in theaters and only pay less than $100 or $100 with fees. But yeah, I've just seen a lot of talk this year about hip hop falling off or whatever, and I do think it took until the summer for Uzi and Travis to drop and a few other people to build hype. Overall, it's been a decent year for hip hop, and we still have like the last leg of the year, and so we'll see if Drake ends up dropping for all the dogs and all these other artists as well. There's still time at the end of the year, but I think as a whole this year, just hip hop's got so much slack because it is like the biggest genre. So when it doesn't live up to that name, and it's not all these rappers and everything aren't topping the charts like they've been doing this year, instead it's been like country artists and stuff and TikTok artists, that's who's taken over the charts this year. The more we see of that, the more we're gonna say hip hop is dead. Although it is a humongous genre, it is very interesting to see some of these tours from big artists being canceled, being pushed back, and not doing as well. So I thought this was going to be an interesting video to dive into a few of these artists and how their tours are doing. And I also think, I've said this a few times, like, I think you're on the good side and you're bad side of the fans in hip hop, and like Trippie Redd's on the bad side right now, so people aren't really going to his tour, supporting his album, giving him shit in the comments. But then on the other side, you got Travis, who's putting out the #1 album for an entire month, hit records on the Billboard, all this love, humongous tour that he's planning. So it's like you're kind of the good and the bad side, and so it's very, very interesting to discuss. Not really trying to give any of the artists slack by that. It's just kind of what I've been realizing here at the end of the summer. Other than that, let me know in the comments down below your guys' thoughts on these low ticket sales we've had in hip hop this year. Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end of the video. I have a Twitter, Instagram. Go check me out there, and I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.